Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to double your money on a mission. This is actually two missions that overlap. This is completely legal. There are no illegal missions here. This is not an exploit, and I've stumbled across it, so I wanted to show you guys. The first thing we're going to do just to maximize our money here is going to be take call to arms. That way we get at least 500 credits for every hostile that we take down. Make sure that you have level 2 junior security contractor. You're not going to be able to get the missions without that. In order to get that, under General Mercenary, you're going to have to take the Assist in Defending Site missions. I had to complete 7 of those in order to level up to level 2. To get the Assist in Defending Site missions, I had to complete the Security Contractor Evaluation contract. And that needs to be in the same planetary system you are wanting to do this work in. So for me, this is all in Hurston Dynamics. The mission, the contract needs to come from Hurston Dynamics. As you do that, again, like I said, it took me 7 of those to get to level 2. And once we get to level 2, we can actually get the mission that we're looking for. If you're already there, awesome. If you're not, you're gonna have to do a couple of them. So then we will get the Evict Illegal Occupants mission. That is what we're looking for. There's going to be 3 of those. Another prerequisite you have to have is the Bounty Hunter Tracker Training Permit certification. That will come from the Bounty Hunters Guild. The other one you need is the Bounty Hunter Contractor Evaluation, and that needs to come from whatever area you're wanting to do these missions in. So again, mine is Hurston Dynamics. Everything here has been completed in the Hurston system. Once you have all of that done, the Tracker Training Permit certification, the Bounty Hunter Contractor certification, and you are level 2 in the Junior Security Contractor level 2, you will then be able to get these missions. In the Mercenary tab, you will get Evict Illegal Occupants. There will be 3 of those. Each one of them is going to be worth 15,000 credits. There's going to be one of them that is worth 20,000. That is not what we're looking for. We are only looking for the 3 which are worth 15,000. And then under the Personal tab in Mercenary, you will have the Authorized Execution Warrant. Each one of these are going to be 15,000 as well. They overlap directly. So the way I choose to do this is I will take the Authorized Execution Warrant, and then I will go ahead and go to that place. So here you can see we are going to a crash site on Ariel. It's going to be another Caterpillar, and thankfully we're right by HDMS Bezdek, which means we can just quantum jump right there, super easy. Once we get there, we are going to go ahead and find the person who we are looking for. So here on Crutchfield is who we're looking for. Now you can do this in any ship. It does not matter what ship you do. I don't use any of the ship weapons, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. But here, just to show you guys, we are looking for Crutchfield. I'm going to go ahead and switch the contract from the Authorized Execution Warrant to the Evict Illegal Occupants. If you look for it, you will see it says Ariel on the Caterpillar. If you track that one, you'll see, boom, right there in front of us still. This is the exact same wreck site that we need to clear all the hostiles for 15,000, and it's the exact same location as the Authorized Execution Warrant, which in this case is Crutchfield. So the way I prefer to do this is I go ahead and track the individual, the Authorized Execution Warrant, and that will take me to the area I need to go. I like to line my camera up to where I can see straight through the side doors. That way I know I'll be able to see whoever I'm aiming at from the third person view without having to get in and out of the pilot seat all the time. And I go ahead and take out the single person. That way, if anything happens, I can at least get the 15,000 credits. And if the server goes crazy, if there's a 30K, if, who knows what happens, it's Star Citizen, it's full of features, and that's why I go ahead and knock out the single execution warrant. So we see the marker there, we go ahead and zoom in, you can see just barely because it is nighttime. You go ahead and take him out, boom, there you go. Objective complete, locate who we're looking for. Objective complete, neutralize who the contract was for. Authorize execution warrant, and boom. There we go, we get our 15,000 credits. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch the contract just so I can check it, and I'm going to go to the Evict Illegal Occupants mission that is in the same area. So go to the Accepted tab here, Evict Illegal Occupants. We are looking for the one that has Ariel on it. There we go. And now you can see we have 3 of the 4. The person who has the execution warrant is included in the total hostiles that we have to take out. So if you were to just do this mission as the authorized execution warrant, you could just come in, snipe the guy, and leave, and that's totally doable. Or you could just come in, clear out the hostiles. However, since you're here, you might as well just do both. It's only a few more people, and then you double the money while you're here. So I'm looking for a couple of the guys here. I can see them off my nose. At nighttime, sometimes it is difficult to see with your headlights because it washes everything out. So I will choose to turn the headlights off sometimes, and you can see their little headlamps, which you can see there. There's two little white dots down there. Those are going to be the headlamps of the people we're looking for. Now, unfortunately, because of persistent entity streaming, sometimes they are dead, and they're not actually the people that we're looking for. You'll see that here in just a moment. Now again, I open up the side doors on the Cutlass just to look through them so I know who I'm looking for. The other nice thing about doing this from inside the ship is I am a little bit more protected. I don't have to worry about falling through the ground, other issues of sorts. And like I said, this guy's actually already dead, but I do see the light from his headlamp. So unfortunately, that was not who I'm looking for. As I go to the other person here, I can actually see them moving around, and I know that they are alive. So we'll go ahead and take them out. And most of the time, I would say 6 or 7 times out of 10, when you get this done, you will end up having the last 2 people come up as targets. So it'll help you find the last couple. It doesn't always happen, but the majority of the time it does. So it makes it a little bit easier to track them down. The other nice thing about doing this inside the ship is at these locations, you are bound to come across the reinforcement dropship. If you are in a smaller starter ship that does not have the ability to deal with one of these Cutlasses, then you can just fly out of range. They have about a 2,000 or a 2 meter range, 2,000 meter or 2 kilometer range. And you can just fly out of their range. They'll stay there for a few minutes and then they'll leave. They will drop off more hostiles. So that's just something to know. If you looked up at the top there, once the Cutlass landed, it said I had 5. So remember, when we started this, I had 3 out of 4 hostiles that I had to get. Once that Cutlass landed, if you rewind this video, on the heads up display at the top center of the screen here, you'll see as soon as it landed, it said I had 5 of 8 that I had to get. Well, thankfully, I destroyed the Cutlass before they were able to get off the ship, which means all of those people died and they're no longer an issue. That's why the numbers changed here in the hostiles remaining. Instead of 1 out of 4, now said 1 out of 8 because of the extra hostiles that Cutlass brought in. The cool thing about destroying it is we get the call to arms money for every single hostile that was on that ship. So that was just an extra $2,000 or so just from that. And then there's a bonus for taking out the ship as well. So just get you a little bit extra cash. Now again, this might be cheating a little bit. However, it makes it really easy. You're able to get in and out, and you can just go ahead and take these guys out. Okay, so there you go. We completed the contract. Contract complete, evict illegal occupants, and then we get the 15,000 for the mission and 500 for the call to arms, all lumped into one. Sometimes it gets split out, just depends on whatever the server had going on. So now let's go ahead and go to the next one, and we'll show you what that looks like there. You may be saying to yourself, oh, I don't have a ship that can deal with all that stuff. Yes, you do. You can do it in any ship. Some ships might be a little bit more difficult. However, any ship can do it. You can also get on foot to do it. It's just easier to do it in the ship. If you have more of a fighter where you have the canopy that you have to get out of, you're probably going to have to do it on the ground. Or you can choose to shoot everybody on the ground from the ship. But before we go on to this next mission, let's go back in time for a moment. Now you are watching my past self as I'm narrating from my future self, Inception. What I found out is at the beginning of doing these missions, while I was doing the research for this and trying to make sure I could replicate this every time before I make the video, I decided to come out here and just take it easy, shoot from the ship, and take everybody out to clear all the hostiles. I thought that would be the easiest way, especially since I have repeaters, which is unlimited ammo. Unfortunately for me, it is pretty difficult to be able to control these guns in a very precise manner just with the combination of mouse I have, the lag that my system has, things like that make this a not very precise method to do this. The main reason though why I chose not to do this, and this has happened whether I use repeaters or ballistics on any of the ships that I have at my disposal, this will happen somewhat regularly. As you're shooting these from the ship, you'll see that they kind of go flying in different directions, and sometimes they'll go flying a couple 100 meters away, and sometimes they get flung underground. As I'm looking around on foot, trying to make sure that they aren't just underneath some rubble or moving around, my feet are on the ground and they are 470 some meters below me. Thought maybe it was this guy and there was a glitch. There was nothing there, and this happens on a regular basis when I try to shoot using ship weapons. So I thought, maybe what if I try, instead of shooting down, shooting more parallel with the ground like I would be if I was on foot and using my turret. So that brought up this funny little situation. I thought, well, what if I decide to get lower to the ground, flip my cutlass upside down, and then go ahead and get into the turret and shoot from there. So here I was able to mow him down just fine. Everything was great. Unfortunately, the exact same thing happened as far as people being in the ground. It was much less than it was if I was shooting from the ship down and using the turret to shoot more parallel with the ground. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite efficient spending the time I was doing to have the errors still come up. I did it in my Aurora as well. I have a key binding of double tap left alt to open the exterior of the ship. I find it very useful in a lot of settings. This is one of those settings to where I can be looking at everything and just do it on the fly instead of having to do it from inside the cockpit. Take out the individual on the execution warrant. Again, once that's done, go ahead and get the 15,000, and then I move on to getting Evict Illegal Occupants contract out of the way. If you do get close enough and you are on a responsive server, they will shoot back at you and you do have to take cover inside your ship. But for the most part, you're far enough away inside the ship that they don't really react. So I look around for a little bit and find the rest of the people and complete this contract. So now we're going back to the future. We are currently on our way to HDMS Bedsdeck, which is the closest quantum marker to the target's location. Unfortunately, some of these wrecks you cannot quantum directly to. However, what is fortunate is they're usually only a short flight away from a very nearby quantum point, which is very nice. As you guys know, because I'm sure you are all experts by now, I get close to the individual I'm looking for. I hit my keybind of double left alt. I look through the doors from the side view to get the general view of what I'm going to see. And as I was lining up here, I saw one of the reinforcement dropships coming in. I did not want them to land. I just shot an entire volley of missiles at them and wanted to go ahead and take them out as fast as I could so they did not drop in reinforcements, because then that's more people I have to kill in order to finish the mission. Unfortunately, right now, I believe there is a bug in the size 2 shields that these have, where the damage for some reason only goes to the rear shield, and the front shield is somewhat impenetrable on NPC ships. My missiles took out the rear shield. However, I had to wait until the front shield was past me, and then I was able to take them out. When I get out, just to buy me a little bit more time, I set my shields to full power, just in case a dropship comes in or another player comes in and decides to try to take me out while I'm over here and not in the pilot seat currently. Buys me just a little bit extra time to be able to get back to the sea without getting in trouble. Show you guys one more time. Objective complete. Contract complete. We get our money. 15,000 for the mission and 500 because of the call to arms. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and track the Evict Illegal Occupants mission that is at this same area. You can see that there's 6 of 11, which means there were probably 7 people here originally. I killed one of them from the execution warrant. The dropship would have brought in 4 more people. However, because we were able to blow the dropship up before they got out, we didn't have to individually take them out. We got the call to arms from them in the explosion, and we were able to just go ahead and move on with the rest of the mission. The next time that I go and do this, I will choose a lesser magnified optic. I chose the highest magnified option I had, which was 16 times zoom for this scope. However, it makes it very hard to search around and look for people. I did this all day to just kind of grind some credits, make sure I could replicate it every single time. Towards the end, I ended up using a 4-time magnified optic and a 2-time magnified optic. I thought that was plenty acceptable because it still allows you to zoom in and try to get the headshots without being super magnified. It allows there to be enough field of view to continue to search around in one area. Now, some of you with a keen eye may have noticed that I was missing one of the wings of my ship, and that was not due to damage from another ship or being shot at. The unfortunate part is while I was maneuvering around, I got a little too close to the ground, hit part of the wreckage, and tore off a wing of the ship. It was just negligence on my part, and the handling was acceptable enough that I could deal with it, so I decided to go ahead and finish just one more mission set here. And here we are again. My approach is a little bit slower due to the damage of the ship. However, the same thing as before, we select the authorized execution warrant to find the location that we're going to and take out the single individual. And I figure out where he is. I go to the side view, open up the doors. I used a couple different rifles during this, and they all worked just fine. Another thing that's nice about this is all of the rifles, most of the ammo and all of the armor and everything I have came from those 7 defending site missions that I had to get the qualification to get these. So every time I went into one of those bunkers and assisted in defending the site, I just took a couple rifles with me, and if I felt like it, I would go and drag a body into the ship or tractor beam it to get their armor as well. After every 3 or 4 missions, I went up to Everest Harbor, which is what I was using as my location here in the Hurston system, and just moved everything out of the ship inventory to Everest Harbor's. I just used what I had. The only thing I did buy was ammunition for the sniper rifle. I had a couple drinks and some food. I knew I was going to need hydration and some nutrients without having to go back to base. And once I was done with the 6 of those missions, my mission board had repopulated with the exact same things again. They were at different locations, but the mission sets were the exact same. Grabbed them all and just kept doing this over and over again. While it may be quicker just to take the authorized execution warrant, fly there, snipe the guy, go to the next one, snipe the guy, I found if I just did that, even though it was quicker to knock out those missions and it was a quicker way to make some money, I was able to do them fast enough that they were not repopulated. Doing the 2 missions together allowed enough time for the missions to repopulate, and I was just able to do those over and over and over again, gain rep, and grab some money. Well, guys, I hope that helps you out. This is just one way I found. If you're starting out, you don't have any money, you just have a basic starter ship. After the end of the day, I ended up with around 500,000 credits. I just want to tell you guys, I am so thankful for you. Your support has been amazing, especially as somebody who is just starting out making these videos. Your encouragement has been awesome. I'm extremely thankful for y'all. Until next time.